Hello there! This hour on Verbling, the next in my Speaking Skills series. In Speaking Skills, we try to give you the key phrases and other skills that you need for various topics that come up in your everyday life. So, in this class, we're going to be dealing with how to talk about politics, how to talk about governments, how to talk about countries, and how to talk about culture. So I'll be going over that material with you in just a second. But first, let me just do a quick introduction, and then we will get started. So first of all, let me get my name on the screen. There we go. And here we go. A little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, or go to my profile page, you will see this. On the left side, you can click follow to get to get notified about my upcoming classes. And on the right side, you can book a private tutoring session or a package with me, and I will work with you on creating a personalized goals to help you get personalized, what was I trying to say? Personalized goals to help you get to your goals as soon as possible. Personalized course, that's what I wanted to say. Oh, goodness, it's going to be one of those days. So that's a little bit about, oh, and just send me a message rather than book so I can make sure that I have time for you in my schedule. But now let's take a look at today's material, and let me give you a link as well to the presentations that we're going to use. So on the screen you should see how to talk about governments, and in the chat window here and here. There you go. Okay, so at any point you want to open that up to get a better look, just click on either of the links that I just gave you. And let's get started. Let's see who's out there. Okay, we've got Mr. Antonio. Welcome back, Antonio. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello, teacher.
Very good, very good. And let's say hello to Danilo. Hello, Danilo. How are you? Danilo, you got to turn on your microphone so we can hear you.
Yeah. Hello, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. Where are you from, Danilo?
I'm from Brazil.
From Brazil. Okay, excellent. Yeah. Nice to have you. And let's see, who else is there? Ms. Sylvia. Hello, Sylvia. How are you?
Hi, hello, teacher. Fine,
okay.
Thanks.
Excellent. And then we have Lena as well. Hello, Lena. Hello, Lena? Uh-oh, I don't hear Lena. Maybe we're having connection problems. What about you, Rebecca? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good. And yeah, Lena's having some connection problems. Giancarlo, how are you today?
Good morning, John. Fine, thank you.
Excellent. And Mr. Frederic. Hello, Frederic. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. And you, how are you?
Pretty good. Okay, so I think we're all here. Lena, hopefully, if you're out there, you can come back in, and we'll see if we can hear you, okay? And there's Jose as well. Okay. Hello, Jose. How are you?
Hi, John. I'm doing very well.
Very good. Could it be better? Very good. Okay, listen, everyone. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing a little tiny bit of reading and a little bit of listening, and then a bit of talking. So you'll get a chance to be more fluent in the vocabulary you're going to see. There's a grammatical part too, but I think we're going to focus more on the vocabulary and how to talk about governments and countries. Specifically, how to talk about, well, you'll see. We're going to be talking specifically about the maybe symbolism or representations of things in your government or in your culture. So as you can see, there's a little text here with different topics. An object, buildings, how these things represent a country, directions, signs, shape. So there you've got the flag, for example, colors, and animals. These are all symbols of power. So we're going to start off like this. I want you to take a look at some of those. I want you to take a look at some. Oh, did I show this the right way? Oh, I might not have. Hold on. There we go. I want you to take a look at some of these pictures next to each topic, okay? And I want you to tell the rest of the class what you think they actually show. Okay, so for example, what do you see? What's in the picture next to an object? What do you see in that picture? You meaning any of you, all of you.
Maybe a box?
Maybe a box, I agree. What kind of a box? For what purpose?
Like our urn for some kind of election to
Right.
vote and yeah.
Absolutely. So we call that a ballot box. A ballot box. Okay? You can see that in the chat window too. Okay, Danilo? Ballot. Ballot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, repeat after me. Ballot box.
Ballot box.
That's it. Okay. So, there's different ways to vote. Certain objects, like a ballot box, have to do with particular countries and cultures. All right, so let's go through some of these pictures and let me get some ideas from you what these things can represent. You've got two buildings on the left side, right? Two buildings on the left side. So, and sorry about the noise in the background. If you can hear that, I'll try to keep my microphone off if you're hearing noise. So, what do you think they show? Look at the difference between these two buildings, the architectural style. What do you think these two styles say about the place where they are? What do they show? Any ideas?
Linked with the issues that we are talking about, for example, the Parthenon was where the democracy was born in the ancient Greece.
Absolutely. So, you know, later on, I don't know, I think it was in the early 19th century, late 18th century, they had this sort of resurgence of the Greek style. It's actually throughout history, they've returned to the Greek style. So what do you think that says when we build or when we try to imitate that style? What does it say about us? Any ideas?
I think this will try to show the power of the country, no?
Okay, very good. Yeah, why not? So it says something about the power of the country. Maybe, as Antonio says, it's a link back to democracy itself, too. So it has, what does it show? It can show power, and it can show maybe a link to history. Okay, those are a few ideas. What about the building below the Parthenon? Does anyone recognize that building? Out of curiosity? I'll take that as a no. Where do you think that building is in the world? The one below the Parthenon. Anyone want to make a guess? What building do you think that is below the Parthenon? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
I have never been in Athens.
I have no idea.
Huh?
It looks like a US building.
Mm-hmm. Like an American building.
An American building, yes.
Maybe in Washington.
Maybe in Washington. Okay. I think I know where it is. Let me just double check that I'm not mistaken. Give me a second. But it doesn't really matter where it is. What matters is what you think it says about the place. That's what's important. Give me just a second, and hold on just a second here. Let me see if I have the answers. I think I do. Okay. Okay, you know what? I'll tell you the answers after I get your opinion. Because you'll be surprised. That building is not in New York. I'll just say that. But that's okay. It's a good guess. Frederic, you said you think it was an American building. What do you think it says about the culture? In particular, now that you know that it's not actually an American building, but what do you think it says? Does it say the same thing? Does it show the same thing as the Parthenon shows?
Can I?
Go for it.
I think this building was built in 20th century.
Okay. And what makes you say that? You're right, but what makes you say that? Lena?
Yes, yes. So it's not so old as the Greece.
As the Greek.
Greek. Building.
Uh-huh. What makes you say that it's built in the 20th century? For what reason?
You asked?
No. I'm asking about the picture. What in the picture gives you the clue that it's built in the 20th century? Is it the way it looks?
It's very high.
Okay. So, for example, it's tall, not high, but tall. It's a tall building. What else gives us the clue that it's a 20th century building?
The architecture is modern.
Okay.
It's modern for 20th century.
Okay. So it's tall. It's modern. Maybe we could also talk about the shape. It's very sort of angular. It has a lot of right angles in it too. Okay, whereas the Parthenon is not so exact. It's rounder, it has columns. Okay, so what you're really doing here when you're looking at these pictures is you're trying to use the vocabulary you have. So there's no really right and wrong, just express your opinion, but try to use different ways to describe what you see. Okay, so I agree. Why is it 20th century? Tall, modern, angular. Also lots of points and kind of spirals. It's almost Gothic looking.
There are a lot of windows.
There's a lot of windows. Okay, so light was important as well. In early architecture, there were no windows, or barely any, because the buildings couldn't support having holes in the walls, like Romanesque architecture. So this is clearly much, much, much later, much more recent. Now, what do you think it symbolizes? It doesn't symbolize democracy. Do you think it does? What do you think it symbolizes? Why were buildings built in that way? Any ideas? Does it show something different than the Parthenon?
This building is huge, and I think it shows the power.
Okay, I think so too. I would say, by the way, I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to be quiet. Class, give me another reason, or be more specific. It shows power. What kind of power? Rebecca, Giancarlo, what kind of power? Danilo, what kind of power does it show?
From the authorities, maybe, you know.
Fantastic. I couldn't agree more. What were we going to say, Danilo?
Like, I will say that maybe this power is like for the democracy, because the democracy brought to us like equally and the same rights for the everyone,
But which
and
building are
was
you
like
talking about? The Parthenon or the modern building?
the modern one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if we all agree. Do you all get class? Do you all feel that that represents democracy in some way?
In my opinion, no, the opposite.
The
I
opposite.
completely disagree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, why? Let's find out. When I
because,
tell you where it is, you'll know why for sure. But go ahead, Rebecca.
well, it's my idea is strong, like a strong power.
It's meant to show
So,
strength. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
strength, yes. So, when a country is governed by a
Mhm.
a ruler, is the symbol is always, the strength,
Right,
just
right, right.
for a unique person, from a unique person.
From an autocrat, maybe.
Yeah.
An autocrat.
Yeah.
And Antonio, would you add anything to that? Antonio, you were starting to say you disagree as well. Why do you disagree with Danilo?
Because this building, I think, is the Kremlin.
It's the Kremlin. It looks a little bit like the Kremlin.
And this is a symbol of one dictatorship.
Dictator.
I-
Okay.
No, I saw the Kremlin. It's not. But this building looks like Soviet Union buildings. Yes.
Exactly, yeah. It's not the Kremlin. It's actually in Warsaw. That's the actual location. But I agree. It does, it looks to me like it's meant to show strength and progress because it's sort of very tall, sort of intimidating. Also power, looks like a fortress. But it has those little Gothic elements around it too that almost looks like going back to sort of, German cathedrals or something like that. So yeah, I think I think you're absolutely right. It's clearly 20th century, and in fact, it's kind of a fascist architecture, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it's in Warsaw, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a Soviet-style building for sure. Okay. I've got one or two others here before we read. I don't know why the Parthenon is still there. Just ignore the Parthenon. Let's just take a quick look at shapes. Okay, you've got two different objects over there with different shapes. In fact, they both have stars. So they might look familiar or not. What do you think the star represents? Why would we have stars as a symbol of the power of a country? And I don't know if you can see what the stars are on. Giancarlo, tell me, in the first picture, not the Parthenon, but just below that, can you see what that is?
Yeah, it's sorry, is it symbol or symbol, John?
Symbol.
Symbol. Okay, well, it's a symbol that represents, as here in the paragraph mentions, military power, and it is used for military vehicles.
Right.
And
That's a military jeep, I think.
Yeah, it is on top of a building, I think, so in order to land.
On top of it's on the hood of a jeep. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's on the hood of a jeep, a military jeep.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let's compare that with the picture below. Okay. So what do you think, Jose? That picture below the star with the jeep with the star. What is that? Does that look familiar?
Yes, I think this picture is not are the same. Is similar to to the European flag, no?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the EU flag.
Yeah.
And so, why? I mean,
I think this flag represent the member nations.
Member, yeah.
Yes.
Member states, member
The
nations.
member states.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think.
I'm just curious, why is there one star on the Jeep? I mean, we've got like 50 states, so why is there only one star on the Jeep? And what is that, 12 stars or whatever it is on the flag? I wonder why there's only one. Anyone want to venture a guess?
Military power?
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's actually read about these symbols. Okay, we've got some brainstorming done, and we've got some vocabulary already, like symbolizing power, dictator, autocrat, a show of strength is another good expression. Describing things like tall, modern, angular. These are all pretty good ways to start. Let's find out more directly what these symbols mean. So I'm going to go back to the first slide. Okay, and Rebecca, do you think you could read about objects, first of all? An object, in this case, the ballot box.
Yes, object. The ballot box has perhaps become one of the great symbols of democracy. It represents the power of the voters to elect their own leaders. The name ballot comes from ball. At one time, voters used a small black ball to vote in elections instead of paper, or nowadays an electronic vote. Many ballot boxes are
Ballot?
Sorry?
Ballot?
Ballot. Many ballot boxes are transparent so that people can see that they were empty at the beginning of voting. The idea of transparency, that people can see everything, has become a symbol, too, of honesty.
Interesting. I don't know about you, but I never realized that ballot boxes were supposed to be transparent.
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
In the United States, they're not boxes and they're not transparent. They're machines, and there's a controversy about them because the people who manufacture the machines belong to one political party and not the other. So there's already an issue there. Whereas in Europe, it seems
in
like...
Spain, the boxes are transparent.
Yeah, because here in Europe, it seems voting is very easy. You just show up with your ID card and you put the paper in the box and that's it.
Well, how is it in your country? I don't know another way to do it.
Yeah, in the States, it's a mess. It's a huge mess. You have to have a certain kind of ID. You have to register weeks or months in advance. There's a huge controversy because if you're poor, if you're black and you're Hispanic, you probably have less opportunities to register to vote because there's more, because of the demographics of where you live, it's going to be harder to do it. So it's this bizarre complication that I've never...
No democratic way, I think.
Yeah, there's also other cultural problems because people don't want a national ID. Therefore, you have to have a credit card or a driver's license to show who you are. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
You can imagine that.
So anyway, as a result, voting has become kind of an issue in the States. It's not that straightforward. Okay, well, Lena, let's talk a little bit about buildings. Can you do the second text for us?
Yes. Government buildings are symbols of power and they are often designed to be large and impressive. In the essay, many public buildings were built to look like buildings from ancient Greece and Rome. There was political message here, like the USA Ancient Greece and Rome were republics too. Meanwhile, during the time of the Soviet Union, government buildings were massive to remind the public of the great power of the state.
There you go. So you've wasn't the building in Romania, the Ceausescu building? Does anyone know? Wasn't that the largest office building ever built, or something like that? I guess in Bucharest. I'm not sure even where it is. Does anyone remember Ceausescu?
I was in Bucharest.
Yeah, isn't it in Bucharest? It's like this. I just remember when I was a kid, because it was like in, Time magazine or something, like this government building that just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that's the Ceausescu building from the time of the dictatorship. I don't know if anyone can confirm that or not. Because I could be wrong. It might not be in Bucharest. I'm not 100% sure. And I could be mixing things up, but that's what I remember. Anyway, that comes to mind as an idea of this fortress, right? To show the power and the size of the state. If you look at the buildings in the United States, let's take a quick look, maybe just one or two. They kind of remind you of classical buildings, right? So if I go to, whoops. Okay, I can't type in my computer. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. If we go to see like the Capitol building, for instance, yeah, take a look. And they were done very deliberately like this too. So here's the Capitol. Give it a second to load. Oops. Okay, you can kind of see it. Again, it's a very Greek and Roman influenced building, right? So there's the Capitol. And the Lincoln Memorial is another famous one. You can see it. I mean, it looks a little bit like the Parthenon, doesn't it?
Maybe it shows the democracy, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. To link back, they had to justify the reasons for separating from Great Britain. So in the buildings that they built, sure. Give me a second and I'll show you one more. I don't want to go to Lincoln Memorial. I want to go to Jefferson's buildings. Thomas Jefferson deliberately, he was an architect as well, so he deliberately built his home in that style. Monticello, Virginia. Give me a second. See if I can. There you go. This was designed and lived in by Thomas Jefferson, founding member of the United States and former U.S. president. So you can see his actual house. There's another picture of it. Monticello. So anyway, there you go. Oh, look, you can see a picture of that, and you can see the coin that has its depiction. Monticello with a nickel. So there you go. Anyway, okay, so that's a little bit about buildings, symbolism with buildings and the ballot box. We're on to Mr. Jose for direction, street signs.
Okay. Directions. The directions left and right are used as symbols for political views. Political parties with more socialist views are called left-wing, while parties with more conservative views are called right-wing. This symbolism comes from the French Revolution, where liberal members of parliament sat to the left of the president and conservative sat to the right.
Ooh, there you go. I always wondered where that came from. Now we know. Okay, so the symbolism of directions, left, right. And what do we call it if you are supposedly neither left or right? Does anyone know what that's called? Any ideas?
Mm.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, obviously center. So you could say you're a centrist.
Centrist.
A centrist is someone who tries to be in the middle, or a party that tries to be in the middle. But you also see things like center left and center right. So what do you think that, just out of curiosity, what do you think that means? If we say this party is center right.
Between the center and the left, in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So what they actually mean, to be clear, is that they are able to participate, really participate in mainstream politics. Mainstream meaning the politics that are acceptable, not extreme politics. So that the opposite would be extreme. Because if you say right and left, okay, there's extreme right and extreme left, and there's right and left. Right and left is a little bit vague. So we tend to say center right and center left.
They have a light right ideas or light left ideas.
Well, I don't even know if I would say that, because in reality it's not really true. They just tend to be more conservative. I would say it more like that, if you really look at it. In fact, it's hard to tell center left from center right. They seem to be pretty much the same party in America and in Europe and in the UK as well. So I would say they tend to be the more conservative, more centrist. But anyway, just so you know, good vocabulary word. Centrist, center left, center right, mainstream, and extreme.
Like, conservative is like people that like democracy or not? It's not the same thing. Conservative and like democracy.
No, because conservative means that you resist change, right? You resist change. That means, it doesn't mean that you're against democracy. It just means that you want to maintain the status quo as much as possible. Status
got it.
quo. So there can be conservative center-left politics and parties. Yeah, there are. I'm just saying, in reality, it's sometimes hard to tell the difference between the center-left and center-right. They seem to be the same party. But there's a tradition. Maybe they used to be more left and more right. So, there's the Labour Party. The Labour Party isn't really a left party, although they did elect a very leftist leader now, so maybe they will swing more to the... They were kind of basically center-left. Now maybe they'll be more left. It's hard to say. We'll find out soon. Okay, so the main thing is make a note of this vocabulary because it's good. Try to use it. It's all there in the chat window. And let's go to Mr. Giancarlo to talk about the symbolism of shapes.
Okay, a shape. The five-pointed star is a very common symbol of military power and is used on military vehicles and uniforms in many countries. It is also a very common national symbol and is used on the flags of 35 countries. For example, there are 50 stars on the flag of the USA, and they represent the states in that country. The symbol for the European Union also includes the stars to represent the member nations.
I still don't really know why the 5-point star represents military power. I wonder why. Any ideas? I don't know. I'm always curious about it. Why that particular symbol? I'm sure if we Google enough, we'll figure it out. But anyway, okay. I think we got two more. By the way, you'll notice I put some vocabulary words at the bottom of the screen. So, besides what you have in the chat window, you have the IPA symbols for some of the key words: capital, conservative, democracy, elections, head of state, you'll see that in a minute, national, political, president, represent, republic, socialist, and United Nations. Okay, those are words that will all come up or have come up in the text so far. Okay, so finishing up, let's go to Mr. Frederic for colors.
Colors. Light blue is the color of the United Nations. It was chosen because it is the color of the sky above every nation on Earth. The color is used as a protective sign on the hats of peacekeeping forces so that they are not mistaken for the enemy. Other colors with political meaning are red and green. Red is a traditional color for socialism and communism, while green is a symbol for parties mainly concerned with the environment.
It's like this: environment.
Environment.
There you go. Are there any other colors that come to mind besides red and green? Are there any other political colors in your country that come up? I mean, the obvious one for me is black, right?
Oh.
You've got the brown. Sorry, go ahead.
Black for which party?
Well, I mean, you had like fascist parties have black or brown.
Oh, yeah.
In World War II and before, the 1930s. So that comes to mind. I don't know. But I'm just curious if there's any other colors. And also, you've got all the revolutions. Every revolution has a different color, right? So you have like the Violet Revolution and all of these things, the Orange Revolution, things like that. They come to mind as well. Okay, I think we got one last one. Let's go to Mr. Danilo for animals. Can you read that for us?
Sure. Animals. Countries often have an animal as a national symbol. Lions and eagles are very popular symbols because they represent strength. For example, Bulgaria, England, and the Netherlands have the lions as the national animal, and the USA, Mexico, and Austria have various kinds of eagle. Other countries use animals which are very characteristic of the region.
Wait. Characteristic.
Characteristic. Characteristic.
There you go. Good.
Characteristic of the region. For example, the kiwi in the New Zealand of the springbok, antelope, and antelope in South Africa.
There you go. Okay. Any other animals that come up in your country or your culture that are particularly symbolic? Just out of curiosity.
In France, there is the rooster.
The rooster, really?
Yeah, it's not on the flag, but this is a symbolic.
A French rooster? I didn't know. I'll show you one here in Portugal. You might have seen this. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll see if I can get this on screen. There you go. This is a traditional symbol here in Portugal, and if everyone's so any kind of tourist shop will always have the Barcelos, Galinha de Barcelos, the Barcelos rooster. Is this something like the one in France, Frederic? Is yours something like this?
I have this in my house, you know. It's too famous as well in Galicia from Portugal as well, of course.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This is actually from the north, yeah, so it's not far.
Yeah, because it's too close, and even with the aprons, you know, with the picture and different stuff, you know.
Is this kind of like the one you're talking about in France, Frederic?
Sorry?
Frederic, is this like the rooster in France?
No, it's not so colorful. It's a rooster, a common rooster.
Is there a name for it? Oh, Gallic rooster. Okay, let's take a look. Maybe I can get a picture of it. Let's see.
Yeah, that's it.
Just this? Oh,
Yeah,
it's on the
yeah,
stems. Ah, very good, very good. Why do you think this symbol was chosen, Frederic?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. British people says that it's because he can sing with their feet in the in the sheets.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe that's it. Let's see. And there's a rooster fighting an eagle. Look at this. Ah, look at this. Interesting. Okay. But why does it say, so the victory of, so is this caucus rooster, right?
Yes.
So the Gaulois rooster against the Prussian eagle.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, very good. Yeah, I really like to know the story behind some of these. Okay, let's take a little quiz. Let's see how much. Oh yes, soccer teams. There you go, Danilo. Exactly. Think about the symbols on your sports teams. That's a great idea, right? Because that has a lot to do with the culture as well. Well, let's take a little quiz. Ballot boxes are all transparent. True or false?
False.
They're supposed to be, but they're not. Okay, according to what you've read. Okay. Antonio, can you read number 2 for us?
Left and right have always been symbols for political views.
True or false?
I think it's true.
I think it's false. Remember when it started, Antonio?
Okay. The French Revolution.
Exactly. Okay, so it's like 300 years old. Okay? I didn't know that before reading this today, or I think I knew that but forgot or something like that. But that's interesting. So prior to that, right, these concepts maybe really didn't even exist, or they did in a different form. It's hard to say. I'd like to know. I'd like to go back in time and find out what people used to say back then. Okay. So, Rebecca, try number 3 for us.
Okay, 4.
Number 3?
U.S. public buildings
No,
follow...
number 3? Number 3?
Sorry, number 3. UN peacekeepers wear blue hats so they are not mistaken for the enemy.
Is that why they wear blue hats? Why did they wear blue? So that they're not mistaken for the enemy? True or false? What do you think?
I think it's true.
You think it's true? Do we all agree? I think it's false.
Okay.
No. No, it's true.
It's false. It's false. Blue was chosen as a sign of unity because every nation is under a blue sky, according to the UN.
I didn't know that.
It was in the text.
Well, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
I was,
So it's an idea. It's the idea of unity, basically.
Yeah, but the text says that the color is used as a protective sign on the hats of peacekeeping forces, so that they are not mistaken for the enemy.
It does say that. It does. It's true.
Yeah.
But I would say this number 3 is false because that's not the reason that they wear it, right?
Ah, okay.
Just because of that. But yes, it does mention that as well. Okay, Lena, let's take a look at number 4. Tell me what you think it is. True or false?
U.S. public buildings follow Greek and Roman style because it is impressive. I think it's true, but maybe I don't agree because it is impressive. Maybe another point.
Yeah, well, it's definitely true. They do it to make some kind of a statement. What statement do you think that is? Impressive in what way?
I said before that it looks like Greek and Roman tile because it's the symbol of democracy.
Yeah. So a link with history and a connection back to democracy. Sure, absolutely. Okay, so we'll go with true for that, but we need to be more specific about why it's impressive. Impressive because of the connection with history, perhaps, and we're trying to make an impression that this is a democratic, a separatist democratic republic, which is how it was founded. Okay, we're on to Mr. Jose for number 5.
Yes. The European Union flag has stars to represent the years since it started. It's false. It's to represent the member nations.
Yeah, the member nations.
Member nation.
That's right. So there should be more stars on the flag in 2050 than there were in 1986, for example. Should be. Someone check and see if that's true. Should be, though. Giancarlo. Last one. True or false? Number 6.
Strong animals are popular as national symbols. That's true.
Such as?
Such as, well, as we mentioned before,
the Mexican Chihuahua. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
In the Mexican flag, we have a snake, for example. In lions are popular in Bulgaria, I think so, England.
Yeah, the symbol of Scotland as well is like a kind of Celtic lion. What is the symbol of Mexico again?
A snake.
Just a snake. Ah, okay.
A snake eating a snake. No, an eagle eating a snake.
Eagle eating a snake. Ooh.
Yes.
Wow. Give me a second. Mexican snake.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. That looks just like a snake. Wait a second. Maybe if I put Mexico flag or Mexico symbol snake. How about if I do that? Okay, there's something. Look at this. Oh, it's a little bit small. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh, it says the coat of arms for Mexico. That's interesting.
Even in the coins, we have the same symbol.
Let's see if we can take a quick look. The coat of arms. Interesting. The golden eagle perched on a prickly pear cactus devouring. So it's on a cactus too. Wow. Very good, very good. So it's on the coins? I'm just going down looking at some of these pictures. Ah, okay, very good. It's on the coins. And do you know what we call these things on the left? I'm sorry, on the right side, not the left. On the right side? These are called seals, right? Like the seal, the symbol of the government. You used to make an impression in wax. You would put the seal into hot wax when you would close a document, when you would seal a document. So those are seals. Okay, very interesting. Go for it.
What's the difference between seal and symbol?
Seal and symbol. Well, I guess symbol is much more general, right? I guess anything could be a symbol of something else. But the seal is an official symbol. And also the seal, it's an official symbol, and it could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be an image. It could be a design as well. It could be a text. It could be a combination of things. So I guess, whereas a symbol is probably more of an image, just an image, and more general as well. Okay, very good job on your true and false, by the way. So it looks like everyone was paying attention. I wanted to, okay, this one we're not going to worry about. I want to jump ahead to some vocabulary words before I have you talk a bit about symbols in your culture. So, earlier I separated some of the key politics words. I want you to tell me if anything is missing. So let's go back here. I put it on slide, here it is, slide 3. Okay? If you can't see this, if the picture, sorry, if your classmates are blocking the picture, okay, then you're going to have to open up the link. So if you need the link, click here. But take a look at those words at the bottom. Capital, conservative, democracy, elections, head of state, nation, political, president, represent, republic, socialist, United Nations. These were some of the key politics words from what we read. Okay? First of all, are any of those terms unclear? Any questions about those key words? No? Okay, good. So, and what I want to do, if they're all clear, let's go back here and see if we can put them in a text. If there's any other words or synonyms you can think of, let's put those in the chat window as well. Okay, so I think we left off with John Carlos. So Frederic, you're going to read the first sentence for us with 1 and 2.
In my country, the head of state is the Republic.
Is the Republic?
Yes.
I don't think so. The head of state is going to be a person.
Oh, sorry. Is the president. We don't have a king or queen.
Okay, there you go. Is the president. Okay, very good. We don't have a king or queen. Excellent. Okay, Danilo, why don't you continue? So actually read the first sentence and go all the way to number 3. That missing one in number 3. Okay, Danilo?
Okay. In my country, the head of state is the president. We don't have a queen or a king or queen. Our country, democracy.
Is a democracy. Good guess. What else could it be?
Country,
Think back to those keywords I just showed you a moment ago. And if you want to see them again, you can always take a quick look at slide, I think it's slide 2, slide 3.
Is there political?
No.
No.
Help them out, class. What's the missing word? Not democracy, but
Republic.
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 Republic. So here, it's the organization of representation, republic. Okay? Rather than, well, it could be democracy, it could fit as well, I suppose. It's a good guess. Okay, so Mr. Antonio, what about 4? About voting?
It's election. Republic. We have
sorry, I couldn't hear.
I don't know. We have a term of every. We have an election every 5 years.
Oh, you're going on to number 5, right? Okay, so let's go back to number 4. Number 5, we have an election every 5 years. Okay, Rebecca, what about 4 though?
The people vote to elect the members of parliament. It's
Well, let's go. You did number 5. That you're absolutely right, Antonio. Rebecca, what do you think about number 4? We skipped that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to guess it. The people vote to elect the members of parliament. It's
They vote to elect. That's your key word. They vote to elect. So
the congressist. I don't know. The parliament.
it's if you vote, it's a what?
Voters.
It's a voters. That doesn't match because means one, so it doesn't agree.
Voters.
What do we call?
No.
But it says it's a, so it's singular. So agreement there, and you need a singular word or an abstract noun. Anyway, here the focus is on the style of government, right? If people vote, then the government must be what? If they vote, Rebecca, it must be
The electors.
no.
No.
No. If people vote, what kind of government do you have? If people
democracy.
Exactly. Right. So Danilo, here is your democracy. It's in number 4.
Democracy.
Okay. So it's there because it's connected directly to voting. Whereas when we talk about the organization, as the country as a whole, republic was in number 3. Okay, then we had elections in number 5. And Lena, let's go on to number 6.
There are 2 main political parties.
Political parties. Perfect. Political parties. Jose, what about number 7?
Number 7, the Conservative Party is more left wing, and the.
Are you sure?
No,
left.
Sorry. The Socialist.
Socialist, yeah.
Socialist.
Usually, the socialists are considered left wing.
Socialist Party is more left wing, and the Conservative Party is more right wing.
Fantastic. That's it. So there you got conservative. You could also substitute socialist for other key words. Liberal, right? Liberal Democrat, Social Democrat. There's different kinds of left parties or leftist parties. Giancarlo, let's do number 9.
Number 9. The main government buildings are in the capital.
Main government buildings are in the capital. How do you spell capital, by the way?
Capital.
Right. It's A-L, right. Because there's also capital. There's a different word with another spelling, with an O-L. Here it's capital with an A-L. Correct. Excellent. And our last one, I believe, Frederic. Oh, no, it's not. The page is cut off. Number 10, Frederic. We're back to you.
My country is a member of the United Nations.
Okay, excellent. Danilo, we're on to number 11 before we run out of time here. Quick, Danilo. Number 11. Danilo, are you there?
Yeah, our flag has 3 colors to symbol. To symbol the
a word
flag.
that means the same as symbolize. Another word that means the same.
Represent.
To represent is correct.
The
Fantastic.
sea,
That's it.
the land, and the sky.
That's it. To represent the sea, the land, and sky. Okay, and we have one last one in the last seconds here. Antonio, number 12, our very last one.
Our national animal is the eagle.
Our national animal is the eagle. Let me just see if that's right. Our national animal. Yeah, okay. I guess that works. Should be our national symbol is the eagle. I don't know why they say national animal. But anyway, you're 100% right. Okay, fantastic. So listen, now that you have, we are out of time. but you can still get a little extra practice. If you go to the end of the presentation, there is a task where you could do this as a writing activity instead of a speaking activity, and you can send it to me and I'll be happy to correct it for you. So if you go to, on your own, if you want to go to slide, I'll tell you in a second, I think it's slide 18. Yeah. There's a set of questions that you'll see on 18 and 19. You could use those to write a short text about your country and your culture. I'd be happy to correct it for you if you want to send it to me. Okay? So, we're going to stop here. I'll be back in just a minute for Fluency Fundamentals, the class where we focus on key vocabulary words. We're going to be talking all about the stages of life, about aging, coming up in just a minute. Okay? So, send me your text if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next class. Okay. Bye for now, everyone. See you in a moment. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.